Hello, welcome to Mystic Moons. I hope everyone is doing well in this crazy, unpredictable world we're in right now. And you could say, well, we've always been in unpredictability or impredictability, whatever that word, whichever the suffix is, the prefix is to that word, reality. However, sometimes you can just about tell what's going to happen the next day and the next day and the next day. But right now, we live in a reality, a world in which things can change from day to day. We're on a roller coaster. We're on a high-speed train. Maybe we're even jumping off a cliff. This is something tonight we're going to ask ourselves. Since behavior, the world has changed in the last week. Less than 1 week. The last 6 days, the world has undergone big changes. Big changes. So, even a week from now, we may not even recognize or what we had a week ago. And why? You know what we're feeling? We're feeling demon energy. Demon energy. And when you feel that demon energy so raw and so overwhelming, you have to ask, what's the purpose of getting into this current of demon energy? Fear, loathing, hate, liking, missing. All these things going on. So tonight, or early this morning, depending on how you view sunlight and moonlight, Mystic Moons is taking whomever is listening to a spiritual journey to the heavens. Because we can't find the answers through propagandists. We can't find the interest of people who just repeaters. I heard this, I heard that. No. Let's relax and contact our real selves. Our real selves. And let's take a trip today. Let's take a trip and let's ask the question. Changes are good sometimes, and changes are bad sometimes. And when you have demon energy, which is a lot of demon energy, you have to see that this is a bad change. Pure aggression, raw physical violence, death and destruction. That's insanity. It's insanity. And then to have a country as big as the 50 states of the United States of America, the United States of America. Remember, each state is made up of thousands and thousands of people. Now, when thousands and thousands of people go after another group of people belonging to another conglomerate, another communal system, and then they go out and they pounce and they kill and they do this and they do that. And they go, rah, rah, rah. I like to kill and destroy and break down. Then we feel funny inside. Even when you see such insanity, no matter if you're a part of it or not a part of it, we're all a part of it. Unabashed, undisciplined, stupid, demonic energy. Right? Stupid, demonic energy. So we see this victim, this flow. There's lots of demons running around lately, lots of demons, and they are beings, low energy, reptilian type of beings that are inhabiting a lot of people, formerly humans. And these governments are comprising of a lot of the gathering of these types. And you have to ask, I'm asking, because when we elected, or when President slip of the tongue, Donald J. Trump to office, he promised certain things. Now, what's happening now is exactly opposite of what he promised. that you have to wonder. This whole pro, we're involved. The United States has been around for almost 250 years, right? Superimposed on slaughtered indigenous cultures, right? We all know that. But now, the United States is getting itself involved with its 250 years into something that's centuries and centuries and centuries and centuries year old. We're getting involved in the Middle East. We're getting involved in the Middle East through Israel. Israel's interest. Now, Israel is the size of the state of Jersey, New Jersey, right? Tiny. It's a tiny little spot. And they're going against a number of countries in the Middle East to create expansionism. Well, right now, the entire world is watching this play out of Donald J. Trump. And he is not acting the way that he said he would. And in our interest, in the interest of the American people. So you have to ask yourself, has a coup happened in the United States government? Has he been ordered to do this? Because this is so unlike his promises. Now, he may not be the smartest man in the world, but he often has been known to make other people enthusiastic. And now he's trying to make the American people enthusiastic. But if you look at his eyes, they don't look like they don't have a vibrancy there. It has a deadened look. His skin, his whole body is slackened, as though somebody who's ordered and oppressed and suppressed. So we're going to ask the entities, the ones we're against, the demons, and we're going to ask the ones who are arbitrarily looking and observing, because we are being observed, watched by the watchers. And who are the watchers? Some beings. Now you go outside again, or look up in the heavens, look up in the sky day or night, and deny that you are the only planet in this multitude of millions and millions and millions of planets and galaxies with any type of beings, right? And look, of course, we're probably known as the zoo. Look at us go after each other and kill each other again and again, for body parts, for this, for that. And we're doing all these ritualistics, full moon, 6 planets in alignment, all these type of things, right? It's crazy. So you know that this isn't the mind of someone who's not unfamiliar with these things, with the power to push the button. So we're asking the spirits to tell us, because as we all know, we are not going to get the answer. We're not going to get the answer. Did a coup happen? Because we're into 180-degree difference. 108, we're into reversals. We're all of a sudden going to kill, pound them, and we're going to be so involved in international affairs, which is none of our business. None of America's business. America's business is it's falling apart. It's falling apart everything. Cities, roads, ports, jobs, the people. There's conversation that people have all day long about what kind of drugs they take, what kind of medicine they take. I mean, it's so stupid. And Americans are not known to be the brightest light bulb in the room. No, but that is, whether it's cultivated or it's something to be ashamed of or proud of, I don't know. But it's not something to be proud of. But it is mentioned Americans are known to be dumb. Now, let's lighten up and let's open our eyes and our ears and start paying attention to what's going on all over the world. First of all over the world, are you happy that Donald J. Trump is telling you what to do? The Americans here at home are really we don't want a legislator who's going to be telling us how to think, because we are thinking irregardless of whom tells what. And what is happening right now, murder, destruction, we don't like. And Donald Trump didn't like it either, until maybe the American government experienced a coup d'etat, an overtake, something, something. I mean, it's a logical way. It's a logical question to ask the spirits, to ask the ether, because in a 3D world, it's easy to like play games. It's easy to say, oh, you're this, you're that, and make the person feel you're this or that. However, in the world beyond all those superficialities, you we have to see what is this experiment, so-called experiment. Otherwise, we're going to have to redefine our whole. Of course, we're going to have to redefine our entirety as it is, because we've already left the World War II complex, the World War II victory dance. So what was it, 80 years ago? I forget, 1945, whatever. Do the math. Do the math. And we into another phase of sycophonic. Oh, it's the end times. It's the apocalypse. It's the Messiah. It's this. It's that. Hell no. It's not that. It's something else. It's called joining the universe. Joining the universe and get down from the trees. Stop pretending to be apes and become a human and who cares about other human beings, because that is the class A, not the zoo that we are at right now. Kill, 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 and going around beating our chest on like King Kong. No, we're not. No, we're not. We're not even. It's not that way. It's not that way. You know, there's a thing going on which I think that you'll find rather amusing. Hello, how are you? Thank you for the likes. I think you'll find rather amusing that as we go towards this rupture of humanity, this culling of our races, the culling of the human, the killing, the depopulation, because that's all war is. It's getting rid of people. We're just getting rid of people so we can have more in the hands of less. However, I guess if you just say I want to, like, get rid of like 3 million, 300 million, 600 million, a billion, 2 billion, 3 billion people, and because we want to have more for ourselves, that would be too crude, too realistic. But we could say that, oh, we don't like these people, they're going to hurt us, they're going to do this, they're going to do that, they dress different, they talk different, they don't deserve life, they don't deserve oxygen in their brains. And that would be a little kind of crude, wouldn't it? The unthinking people would not like that. So we have to frame this, I hate you, I hate you. And then when citizens, like in my country, in the United States, when they kill each other, right? They go, oh, lunatic, or this and that. But when it comes from the top down, and I'm talking about like the pyramid, the legislators at the top, or the demons at the top. When it gets down to the bottom people, the masses, the people who are like scurry, and they do things because their minds are twisted with alcohol, with drugs. I mean, what do you expect? What do you expect when you have like a bestial, kind of braggart, arrogant, muscle head, lunatic head, bubble head type of culture that you go, oh wow, book learning isn't for us. Just get up a hammer and pow pow away. Well, sometimes anybody can be under that hammer that they're being trained to pow pow away. Now, let's see now. Okay, so let me just look at these cards. Let me see this. Is our government, is the United States government, did it undergo a coup? And is Donald Trump being controlled by Mr. Netanyahu, right? He is. Why are we doing everything for Israel? Why are we following? It's like an ant in size leading a tiger around, or a beetle or something. A beetle leading a herd of giraffes around. It's very strange. Why are Americans supposed to die? And of course, we all know about duplicity and gimmicks of war to make the masses feel that it's their war. And we know we've been fooled once and we can be fooled twice, and shame on us. There's so many plots of war, but why is Donald Trump, was he ordered to do this, to invade? I mean, there is no plan other than just breaking and smashing and killing outside of the virgins that were sacrificed. God forbid it happened. The children, codename virgins, children. You got that, right? You got that. Yeah, I know you did. And there have been like little children being sacrificed for this ritual of blood moon, 6 planets in alignment. You know, there's a lot of strangeness about this. Doesn't sit right. But I get this one. Was the United States ordered to invade Iraq? Not Iraq. It's hard to remember. Iran, because there's so many different things. It's following the Wolfenstein Plan. The Wolfenstein Plan states 7 countries were to be toppled. And you know what? Iran is the 7th. Check it out. The Wolfenstein Plan. It was made during George W. Bush's time when we went into Iraq. It's made a mess out of that country. Of course, every time we make a mess out of some other country, we make a double, triple mess here in the United States. I say this, the United States is a dump right now. A dump. No jobs, people effed up, going around aimless. Even those that have a little piece of property, their mortgages, their heating, their utilities, their outlook, their neighbors. They're just sucking on to life like some sort of like pacifier that you see on a cartoon show. All right, so let's see. One more. All right, this one. Let's see if we get any words, because this is something that is very disturbing. Very disturbing. Very disturbing. The first one we get is the 9 of Wands. The 9 of Wands. Yes, it's a heavy situation. It's a very heavy situation. Tumultuous, tempestuous, and throngs of chaos. The 9 of Wands. That's a good flavor for right now. What is America? The 9 of Wands. It sounds like coup to me. It sounds like somebody's overtaken us. Then we have the moon. Uncertainty of what direction? Uncertainty of where this coup will lead. World War III, anyone? How many countries are involved right now? What is the United States doing? What is America doing? What is the goal? People, the American people want peace, not war. Of course, there's always lunatics of all sides all around, but who wants death and destruction? And look what we have. The 7 of Wands. The 9 of Wands. Lots of fire. Lots of fire. The moon means the goal is indecisive. The goal, what? To bring apocalypse and all these like ridiculous prophecies. People use prophecies because they don't have any imagination. They don't have any plan. They're too stupid to even do something else but say, I'll follow what I see. Dumb. Dumb. 7 of Wands. All right, 7 of Wands. Lots of chaos, lots of fighting. Fighting in the Gulf states. Missiles going this way. Drones going that way. What's the purpose? To bring it here to the United States. And we want to see New York City, Washington, LA, Chicago. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles. This could be the takedown of the United States by the coup, because they're hot with 370, 50 something million people. Not everybody's in the poorhouse, but bleeding United States people dry. I mean, the very size and the nature of the United States government Like they will do what they're told to do, right? They may not be happy about it, but the way that this country is set up, not morally, but there is wealth in the United States, or it's, of course, it's ticking, draining away because of engineered reasons. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate it. Hello. And so, in other words, you can afford it, right? That's what this Knight of Pentacles, you can afford this chaos, this Seven of Wands, this Nine of Wands, and the indecisiveness of it, because you can afford it. I have it, I have it, I have it. But like when you spread yourself too far, too thin, like a slice of cheese, Swiss cheese. Has anybody seen Swiss cheese? The holes in it? Well, that could be pretty intense when you have to get to point A and point B when there's a big gap, sinkhole in between getting what you need over here to over there. And then we have the Page of Wands. Now, pages are like brilliant ideas, just not the inaction, not the action or enacting of an idea. But here we have the idea of money, the earth goods, the oil, the gas, the rite of passage, the Straits of Hormuz. I own, I own, I own. Power. Power is great. I can govern all these people. All these things are the Knight of Pentacles, the idea. And then this is the Page of Wands, and this is actually going out and getting it. And that is using the United States as muscle, as the brawn, using the United States. It all speaks of usury, doesn't it? A lot of just using us. It really feels as though the United States was ordered to go into Iran and to fight for Israel, not for America. Doesn't it? Because what are we gaining? We're losing. We're losing because we've shown the rest of the world that we can't even defend our own foreign bases, right? We're losing because we're going huffing and puffing and saying we only lost 6 servicemen. And that's not true. That's not true. 6 days of intense warfare and only 6 casualties. That's not right. So we can see that we are definitely a coup. 9 of these wands. There's so many wands in this pull. It seems as though that, yes, we are not free. We are not free. Americans are not free. This is not our war. And yet there might be something to happen to get the Americans on board. Americans on board to more killing, more destruction. But the pace and the label has already been made. And the expiration date is ticking, 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 ticking. So we have this idea of we are the greatest, we are this, we are that. We all know that it's hot air, it's braggery, it's what's it called? That's self. Yes, it's self. It's just not real. It's fantasy. This is fantasy. But the reality is we're ordered to do. We're not free anymore. The United States people are not free because we have a government that's not free. A government that's been ordered to fight Iran. And we're going to lose because we're not fighting from the heart. And even if something happens, which it probably will on this soil, because this is the plan, it's still, we're losing. We're losing. Just like the tariffs Have you seen tariff money come in your pocket? Americans all over the world? You know, when you don't trade freely, then you fight under duress. Duress of being hungry, duress of not having, duress of trying to take the bombing sounds out of your ears, the explosion, the missiles. These are all the things that happen. I want everyone to think about, what would you do? Like, don't fall into the propagandists on either side, but just think of madness, the killing and destruction and the sorrow. Think of it, feel it, but not the side of like, yay, 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 because there's nothing to be proud of. As a proud human, as a human with empathy, let us not celebrate others' misery. And also the misguided demons that are running this show. Because what is going on with this is foretelling what will happen eventually to all of us if we collectively jump on the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands to destruction. And we have to think of something. How do you do when your government is being overtaken by a foreign source, a foreign entity, maybe an alien entity? What do you do? I mean, we've all seen enough science fiction movies to realize that a lot of truth comes out in the sci-fi world, and we are also in the sci-fi world because United States has Space Force. It's not called Ocean Force and Water Force. It's called Space Force. So, just think about things more differently, right? Just think about what you want to do in this situation and how you are going to act. You don't buy into like they hate us because we're beautiful type thing. They hate us because they're strong or they're evil. No. The only people killing, relishing it, that's the demons. Now, a demon can be possessed by another demon. Right? And what preemptive thought? And what is the goal? What is the goal? Reduce population on the earth and then subjugate the rest of them to 24/7 panoptic surveillance. So they could like feast on your mind, feast on your activities, empty souls, empty entities, non warm entities, cold, desperate, grasping creatures.